Here is a list of startup ideas I have. I know it's too many, but which human doesn't have too many startup ideas? According to YC, or really any startup tutorial, it should take you weeks, not months, to deliver your MVP. The problem is, how? How do you deliver a fancy tech in weeks? I was paid for coding, but I can't do it. Not until last week, I finally figured out how to build a functional MVP in one day. I'm not talking about the wireframe or prototyping in Figma. I'm talking about the real functional product that can actually solve the problem it's designed for. No, you don't need to spend another year to learn Flutter or spend $1,000 hiring a freelancer. Welcome to the world of scrappy entrepreneurs. The project I worked on was to build a marketplace for coaches. I started it by listing out all the requirements I need, and then I researched for the tools that can deliver those requirements. As a result, I stumbled upon this thing called no-code movement. In the past, I played with solutions like Webflow, Babel, or Flutterflow. They do save you time in terms of shipping out your product. However, the learning curve is still deep. It's definitely not something a non-developer or even a non-application developer can pick up quickly. Therefore, I investigated a dozen of no-code tools and ended up using Airtable, Softar, and Stripe for this marketplace idea. Airtable is a very nice user interface where you can design, manage, and host your databases for your applications. And Softar is a front-end builder that works on top of Airtable. As for Stripe, I assume you know that's a way better option than PayPal to integrate payment in your application. On this coaching website, you can register yourself as a coach. You can list your coaching service and get paid when someone booked you and you delivered your service. So this requires several tables, such as the users, the coaches, the services, and the transactions. And Airtable also provides you this very nice automation feature where the changes in your data can trigger actions. For example, when someone registered as a coach, I want to flag them as a coach in the user table, and I want to receive the email from the exchange so that I can set up connect account for them to receive payment. I learned several things interesting in this project. For example, unlike the e-commerce store where you receive payment and manage product directly, on a marketplace, the seller needs to have their separate receiving account, and they need to be able to list a product and set the price themselves. Other complexities include the revenue split, getting checkout session to determine which product is sold and which seller should be paid, or the policies in different countries because this is a virtual service and people outside the US should also be able to access it. I didn't think any of these issues by the time I started this project, and I'm surprised how far I can go with those tools and without any coding. Since I'm on the free version of these tools, there are some features I can't use. Therefore, some parts of this website still require me to process manually. For example, when a new coach registers on this website, I will need to manually go to Stripe and create a new account setup link for the next coach. This definitely will not scale once we have more than one coach register each hour. However, at this moment, it works. Currently, the integration with Stripe is not directly supported by Airport. I will need to write a script and add in the automation workflow to make this work. However, on the free tier, you cannot have a script in your automation workflow. Once we have more traffic for the website and the website started generating revenue, then I can justify paying for a better automation process. The rise of no-code movement also changes the dynamics of startup fundraising. For ventures that used to heavily rely on capital to develop their product, now can skip that dependency from investors, therefore retain more freedom and control over the business, instead of being forced to raise more capital and being controlled by the investors. So that's all for today. I will make more content for entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs, as well as people who are still working full-time but trying to transit into running their own business in the future, and that can take years. I used to think wantrepreneur sounds stupid because you are not executing. But after I talking to many friends, I realized it can be much worse if you didn't even want to be an entrepreneur. I hope you find today's content helpful. See you next time.